Hello, everyone. I'm Tiana S reporting for Kids First. Today, my special guest is Mr. Doc Wyatt, who is an Emmy-nominated show writer. Mr. Wyatt has written over 200 scripts for animated TV series, including Star Wars Resistance, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Disney Junior's The Octonauts, among many others. Mr. Wyatt is currently one of the showrunners for Transformers BotBots, which is a series streaming on Netflix now, and he's here to share more about his role with the series and the mischievous little boss on the show. Welcome, Mr. Wyatt.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm super excited. I have binge watched the series up to the episode I'm on right now, and I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing that. We're proud of the show.
Yeah, same here. So this series is the first comedy series in the whole Transformers franchise. What inspired you to make this franchise into a different direction and create a comedy?
Well, I created the show with my writing and producing partner, whose name is Kevin Burke. And we were inspired based on the toy line itself. So BotBots we were working on a different Transformers show called Transformers Rescue Bots Academy when the toy designs for the upcoming line of BotBots toys came across our desks. And we saw them and we freaked out. We thought the designers and the toy makers in Rhode Island who'd made this line just put so much personality into it, so much character into it. And we said, it's got to be a show. We've got to make this a show. So we went to our executives and we said, BotBots has got to be a show. And they said, well, we're not doing a BotBots show. We're like, yeah, but can we do a BotBots show? And they said, well, if you develop a take, which is what we call it, a version of a story. If you develop a take and pitch it around, then we'll make a show. So we did, and we pitched it to Netflix, and Netflix got on board right away. And we're really glad they did because we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad they did as well. As I said, I've been binge watching it, and it is amazing. So I'm glad that they went through with the decision.
Oh, me too. I hope everyone watches.
Same here. So the show is based around the mall, which was hit by Energon, which turned a bunch of everyday objects from the food court to the hardware store and different locations throughout the mall, their little objects to life. So, and it really makes for some pretty hilarious and very teachable and incredible moments. So what was your most memorable moment from the series?
Well, I have to say that, first of all, my personal favorite character is a character named Frostferatu, because he is a cupcake who is also a robot, who is also a vampire, who is also a hypnotist, but he's a very, very bad hypnotist. And there is a moment where I don't want to kind of do too many spoilers, but there's a moment where he tries to hypnotize someone and it does not work out. And it's always been one of my favorite little moments in the show. But I have a lot of favorite moments of the show, so it's hard to pick.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've loved everything I've seen so far. And those moments where he was trying the hypnosis were pretty funny.
Thank you. Yeah, the voice actor who does Frostferatu is the same who does Dimlit, our flashlight character, and Sprinkleberry, our little donut character. And so he does such a great job. It warms up the show so much.
That's pretty impressive, knowing that those are totally different voices.
Yeah, they're crazy different characters, but he does a great job.
For sure. Each character in the series was from a different part of the mall, and that determined what squad they ended up in. And one of my personal favorite characters is Kick Me the Soccer Ball from the Lost Bots. So where did the ideas for the different Transformers and the squads come from?
Oh, well, the toy line itself already divided the toys into different squads. And so it was already like the fact that they had these squads and the squads were determined based on where they came to life was already a part of the toy line itself. But the inspiration we took away from that is, because I grew up in the 80s and with high school 80s movies, Breakfast Club and things like that. And, it made us think of high school, the way that there are cliques and the way that there can be little intense social gatherings that within groups and out groups and a lot of social pressure. And so we decided that we wanted to take sort of a lot of inspiration from those sorts of 80s teen movies and kind of cooked that into this sort of mall environment. So that's sort of the direction we went with.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would have never thought that just judging on the show that you took it from a bunch of high school experiences, which makes sense. It's perfect for the show. I'm not sure if younger kids would really understand the high school part of it, but I definitely think that was a good direction for the show.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I guess I would say that in high school, me and my friends were the lost spots of our high school. So it was easy to draw from memory.
Yeah, and it's really something relatable.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And so speaking of things being relatable, which squad or BotBot do you feel like you connect with the most and why?
Oh, well, I would say a lost spot because I always felt a little bit like I didn't quite fit in at my school. But maybe also a little bit of gamer geek too. Like, I think I could hang out with those guys sometimes.
Yeah, just judging on your impressive list of things you've done with animated movies in general, seems like something you could do.
I might fit in with those crowds.
For sure. So one of the most famous taglines for the Transformers BotBots is "More than meets the eye." How does that relate to the BotBots?
Well, actually, we really did drill down on more than meets the eye, and also another idea, which is robots in disguise. That was the original 80s Transformers robots in disguise, more than meets the eye. And we wanted to, because we knew this show was not going to be like any other Transformers show. We weren't going into the lore of Transformers. There's no Optimus Prime, there's no Cybertron, there's no Megatron, there's no war between the factions. It's much sort of sillier than that, and it does not go into Transformers history. And because of that, we were like, well, what makes this a Transformers show? Like, if you don't have Optimus Prime in it, you don't have Cybertron, why is it Transformers and not just BotBots? And what the answer to that question is, we wanted to try to capture the spirit of those original Transformers. And we watched Transformers, Kevin and I, when we were kids. And the power of the show was anything could be a robot. Like, that there could be, like, you see that car and it might be a robot, and you see a truck and it might be a robot, and there could be secret robots everywhere. And that was sort of the fun and thrill of it. And that's what we wanted to capture with BotBots. Like, literally anything in that mall could be a robot, and you don't know what it is. And the surprise of that and the mystery of that is, for us, what made it a Transformer show, what made it more than meets the eye.
Yeah, and I love how with this series, you took a take on so many different other objects like food items or hardware items or things in that category rather than the original Transformers when it's just focusing on cars or trucks. I think that was a good take to have on it.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I particularly like, there's a character named Auntie Farmwell. She's an ant farm, and she actually has ants inside her that sort of crawl around her like pets and stuff. And I very much like that idea that that she's got other life living also around her.
Yeah, that's also a pretty cute design idea.
Those ants are cute.
Yes. So for my last question, what do you hope that the audience gets from watching Transformers BotBots?
Well, what I hope they get is a sense of childlike wonder and excitement. Like, that's what I think that the BotBots sort of embody. Like, they weren't born yesterday, but they were born pretty recently, and everything is still new and fun to them. So they can see a mall, and the mall is not built to their scale, right? It's too big for them, in a way that sort of, when a kid looks at the world's sort of not necessarily built for them. It's built for people who are taller and bigger, but they see this world and they think of ways that they can have fun in it. And so, like, a garden hose and the escalator becomes a water slide. So, the popcorn pit the popcorn maker becomes a ball pit, and they can find ways to have fun in this world that wasn't necessarily made for them. And I love that. I hope that's what we can all do.
Yeah, well, I definitely get a huge sense of that. Just as you were saying, the connection of how kids are naturally most times like smaller and don't really fit in a sense in the world in terms of size.
Yeah.
So, and we're still able to have fun. We're still super creative. So that was definitely something that also adds to the relatability of the show.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think we need to all be like that, you know? And instead of worrying about where we don't fit in, we find the fun in where we don't fit in.
Yes, I would have to agree. So thank you so much for speaking with me today, Mr. Wyatt. It was a pleasure getting to speak to you. And I cannot wait I've already watched, I think, the first season. So I cannot wait for there to be another one.
Oh, well, you and me both.
Yes. That's all for this interview with Kids First. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our next reviews or interviews. And make sure to check out Transformers BotBots, the series, streaming on Netflix now. Again, I'm Tiana S. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.